Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to strike the last word, and I want to start by thanking Chair Bilirakis for your partnership here on the Kids Online Safety Act. But I especially want to thank the parents and the wide range of advocates, from the pediatricians to the nation's Surgeon General to the families who have struggled with a child with an eating disorder or has suffered bullying, anxiety, discrimination, or suicide, to the student advocates like Design It For Us who have urged us to move this forward. Thank you for sharing your experiences and urging Congress to act. Now, done right, the Children's Online Safety Act will make the world safer for young people because big tech platforms and social media companies would have a duty to design their products not to harm kids. Big tech platforms design their products in a deceptive manner. They deploy manipulative features to addict young users. They do so knowing that our kids' mental, physical, and social well-being is suffering. But they value their profits more. Yesterday, Meta announced changes to their apps for kids. The day before this hearing, they should have done this years ago. We cannot wait for these companies to do the right thing. The Congress must act, especially in the face of last year, America's Surgeon General published an advisory on the impacts of social media, calling it out as an important contributor to our nation's youth mental health emergency. Dr. Murthy said that adolescents who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media face double the risk of anxiety and depression symptoms, and the average daily use in this age group as of the summer of 2023 was 4.8 hours. He said legislation from Congress should shield young people from online harassment, abuse, and exploitation, and from exposure to extreme violence and sexual content that too often appears in algorithm-driven feeds. The measures should prevent platforms from collecting sensitive data from children and should restrict the use of features like push notifications, autoplay, and infinite scroll, which prey on developing brains and contribute to excessive use. So after years of hard work and examination by this committee, I was proud to have introduced the COSA with Chair Bilirakis. As originally proposed, COSA would provide young people and parents with the tools, safeguards, and transparency needed to stay safe online and hold the big tech companies accountable, requires the platforms to take reasonable measures to prevent and mitigate online harm to minors, provides kids, teens, and parents the opportunity to turn off the data-driven algorithms, requires those platforms to provide parents with the tools to help manage a minor's use of the platform, safety settings, limit purchases, address harmful usage, and make those design features the default setting. All of this was passed in a legislative miracle this year. In a closely divided Congress, we all celebrated when the United States Senate passed COSA 91-3. That could have been the easy starting point for this committee, and that's, in essence, the version that Chair Bilirakis and I introduced. Over the past couple of weeks, Mr. Bilirakis and I have worked with stakeholders to bring an AINS to this committee in the spirit of moving this forward and protecting our kids. I regret that this AINS is a weakened version from what passed the United States Senate. But I think now, and I appreciate what Mr. Bilirakis has acknowledged, that there is still work to be done on this bill, and I look forward to working with his team to do so. See, we cannot abdicate our responsibility that we have to our kids in America. We can't allow unintended consequences to creep in because there were politics played with COSA here at the 11th hour. It's unconscionable that big tech is pushing our kids to spend unhealthy amounts of time on their devices. Pro-suicide online content is leading kids to die by suicide. And I think it's important today to move it forward with the promise and acknowledgement that I don't know that I could support this version if it comes to the House floor in this manner. But I trust Chair McMorris-Rogers and her leadership. I trust Chair Bilirakis and his leadership. I know where their hearts are. I know how hard they've worked to get us to this point. And I think in the spirit of what we need to do as responsible legislators, we should go ahead and move this forward today with the understanding that we probably need to move towards the Senate version of the bill and not go backwards at this time.